You ever wonder if the universe signed you up for a character building course without asking you first? If so, stay tuned. Let's dive into a story I'd like to share that I think may resonate with some folks. So, welcome. My name is Lori, and if you're a returning viewer, it's nice to have you back. And if you're new, thank you for clicking on the video. So, I think we all face obstacles, right? There isn't anybody watching this that hasn't had some type of obstacle in their life, and it doesn't matter how old you are. And I think a lot of the times when we're faced with an obstacle, the immediate, and myself included, the immediate reaction is it's blocking my path, it's blocking what I want to do. Why is this happening? When maybe it's actually forging our path. And I have many stories, decades worth of stories of obstacles I have had to overcome and endure and walk through. And I've never been able to ignore them. If I ignore them, they just continue to keep showing up. I've always somehow had to get through it for it to actually pass me by and to get over it. So the story I'd like to talk about today, and the reason I picked this is I think a lot of folks can relate to it, is getting laid off. I got laid off I was in corporate America for almost 30 years and got laid off a couple years ago now. And let me tell you, our company started laying off in 2000, the year 2000. So that's decades worth of layoffs. And I always got through each, I was passed by for each layoff. I just kept my head down, kept working, kept producing greater and greater results. So when other people get laid off, I always sent a note, like there's life after XYZ company, better things are in store, whatever motivational words that I were moved me that day, I would send to these folks. But let me say, until you're in somebody's shoes, you do not know how you will react. Because every time a friend, a colleague got laid off, there was a tinge of like, I don't want to say jealousy, but just like, oh, wouldn't it be nice not to have to deal with some of the stuff that's going on in this company? And it was a large company and a very well-known telecommunications company. But when it actually happened to me, I was beyond shocked. I didn't handle it very well. And at the time, I thought it was very personal. But I can honestly say now it wasn't. So I guess that was the first lesson is that I had to learn, was that you don't know how you'll react until you're in somebody else's shoes. So just always be cognizant of that and be kind, right? And so once I got over, like I said, it was maybe 2 years ago, not quite 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago. And once I got over the shock, once I got over, the woe is me and feeling sorry for myself, I was like, well, I guess this isn't too bad, right? Retirement. I had made the choice not to go back and look for another outside job, another career-oriented type of job. And that's actually probably 6-7 months into my retirement is when I started thinking about maybe I should do YouTube. Though I didn't actually move on. It was just a thought, started thinking about it. And then it was about 9 months ago now. So it hadn't quite been a year since I had been laid off. It had maybe been about 10 months. A colleague of mine that was still at the company was retiring. So I was invited by this colleague to come to like a retirement get together they were having for him at the offices. And I debated for a long time whether I should go or not. But I will say that I did end up going, and that by going, just the act of going was the biggest healing thing for me. Because I guess I got over myself. I'm like, I just realized that it wasn't about me. It was just about what this company does. And it actually felt good to see everybody. But little did I know that by going that day, it was going to set me down another path. So I forget exactly when that get together was, but maybe 3-4 weeks after the get together, I got a text message from one of my old managers. And it wasn't the one who laid me off, but somebody else I had worked for years. And he had asked if I'd be interested in helping support them with a couple projects. They wouldn't bring me back as an employee, they would bring me back as a contractor. And so I had to think about it. Okay, so let me think about it, right? I was given this offer. I could make my own hours. I really wouldn't have a boss. And with the contractor situation, it's a lot more money than the salary that I was making when I left there. So to me, it was a no-brainer. I'm like, yeah, I'll go back. And when I had made that decision to go back, which was less than a year later, actually, I had to go and get a computer and whatnot and get set up on the network. And the first day that I brought the computer back home, and that was the other thing, I was able to work virtual 100% of the time. I never had to go into an office. But the first day that I had turned that computer on in my home office was literally a year to the date that I went off roll from this company the year prior. And I actually took a picture of the screenshot, and I'll have to see if I can find it. And it was a reminder that you don't always understand what the universe is lining up for you or what God is lining up for you. And sometimes you just have to have faith and trust what is happening. And I think it's also hard times like this that help us become more resilient, help us see things through other people's eyes, which I think is extremely important, right? None of us have this life figured out. None of us have all the answers. And it's only through these obstacles and these challenges and these hard times that help us grow and become somebody better, right? I can't think of anybody that has become a better version of themselves without going through a hard time first. That hard time, that obstacle propels you to the next level. It's just the way it is. So instead of always being against those obstacles, and why me, and I'm talking to myself here, I think we need to look at those as, it's a springboard to our next higher self. And I definitely learned a lot over that past year. But just a year later, after getting laid off, my life was definitely better. It was definitely better. Now, did I think it was going to be better the year prior when I got the news? Absolutely not. Again, I took it a lot harder than I should have. But then reflecting, hindsight's always 20/20. I can definitely say it was for my best interest. And to take it even a step further, to be offered this part-time contractor role, which these two projects I have since finished up for them, and they have chosen to keep me on standby mode in case something else comes up, which is nice. But the money that I was able to earn from those two projects actually enabled me to set up a home office and buy some equipment that I needed, because I did make the decision to start a YouTube channel. And one thing that we've all been through a lot, right? In life, we all have our own stories. We all have our own beginnings. We all have things that we can share that we've been through that can help somebody else. And I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. And what I have learned in my life is wisdom that I feel I am compelled to share with other people. And there's a quote, there's a quote, and it was by Mark Twain, I believe. And the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and then the day you realize why. So basically when you find out your purpose. And I can't think of anything better than sharing the wisdom that I have learned through the years with other people who may need to hear it. So for me right now, that is my purpose. So I got laid off, which was amazing in the sense that it gave me the opportunity to have more time, because if I stayed employed with the company, I would not have had the time to start a YouTube channel. And Then 10 months later, I was given an opportunity to go back as a contractor and make the money I needed to start the YouTube channel. And not that you really need money to start a YouTube channel, so I don't want to make it sound like that either, but it just helped, right? It helped. So again, hindsight 2020, and I am thankful now for being laid off. And I share this, which I share with my kids all the time, is when something happens, sometimes you just need to pause. You just need to pause, and though it may suck in the moment, ask, what am I to learn? What am I to take away from this lesson? I always pray, help me get through it. That's my prayer all the time. And then on the flip side of that, I'm always saying, use me, God. Who can I help today? So I think this is his answer. So I just wanted to share that. And I guess to summarize is, hard times are critical for growth, right? And the pressure reveals what's inside of you, kind of as a way of squeezing you in what's true to your heart and mind. And struggle builds character, builds strength. Tears are like muscles sometimes, right? The more tears you shed, the stronger you become. Just like by lifting weights, the stronger your muscles become. And when you get to the other side of that challenge, that obstacle, you become more of who you're meant to be. I truly believe that. And sometimes during these hard times, you learn what truly matters, what matters most. Sometimes life gets simplified down into just the beautiful essential things, and you stop chasing maybe the things that don't matter. You know, comfortable times, easy times make life comfortable, but hard times make you capable. And I think that's what we all need to remember next time we're faced with an obstacle. And I will need to be reminded of this too. I am not above this, trust me. But I did want to share that with you folks today. And I hope it resonates with somebody. And if you know anybody that may need to hear this today, please share this message with them. And I like to say, you are enough just the way you are. You really are. You're so very special. Don't ever doubt it. And I love you guys. And remember, you're the hero of your own story always. You can write the story. Until I talk to you next time, I love you. Take care.